After checking out the skybox in Little Hope, I was able to identify the Curator's library as being in Rome. But shamefully on my part, I did no further investigation into exactly where in Rome he lived. I made a wild guess based on some visible architecture and left it there. Luckily, Reddit user Curator wasn't as lazy as I was, and actually kept the research going, managing to discover the exact location of the Curator's library. So let's take a look at the results of their research. One note before we start, the location that Curator found, while awesome, does not match the view out the window in Little Hope. But that's an interesting location in and of itself. Here's the key evidence Curator based the location on. 1. The 3D model of the obelisk is referred to as St. Peter's Obelisk in the game files. This is a real Egyptian obelisk that sits in St. Peter's Square in Vatican City. Of course, the real St. Peter's obelisk looks different than the one in the game. It has a cross on the top of it and an inscription at the bottom, neither of which were part of the original structure. So it's possible that the obelisk we're seeing through the window here is a spiritual plane version of the obelisk, stripped of all of the adornment which the Catholic Church added to it later on. Fun fact, this ancient obelisk is one of the many stolen from Egypt by the Romans throughout history. While we have no idea where exactly it was from or who built it, it's called St. Peter's Obelisk because it was set in the center of the stadium where St. Peter was crucified. It was later moved to the Vatican, where it is sat for the past 500 years. 2. This statue, which has been visible in both Little Hope and House of Ashes, is a low-poly recreation of this statue of St. Justin. This is significant because, like the obelisk, it is also located in St. Peter's Square. This means that the view out of the Curator's window, with the statue close and the obelisk further away, actually makes perfect geographic sense. In fact, we can estimate that this window right here would have a view surprisingly close to the Curator's library in House of Ashes. Fun fact 2. St. Justin was an early Christian scholar who was beheaded for refusing to worship Roman gods, and went on to be named the patron saint of philosophers and the study of philosophy itself. So, what is this building? It's the Papal Apartments, which are located in the southern section of the 3 palaces that wrap around the courtyard of San Damaso. And yes, by Papal Apartments, I'm referring to where the Pope lives. That's right, the Curator's library is inside the Pope's house. That's a heck of a surprise, huh? Of course, this doesn't mean that the Curator is literally inside the Vatican in our world. He has to use some kind of a magical compass to find the place after all. But the association being drawn between the Curator and the center of the Catholic faith will be worth keeping in mind as we learn more about what's going on with him. Oh, and as promised, here's the Curator's other super interesting find. The skybox in Little Hope is likely a photograph taken from the Castel San Angelo, as you can see in this Google Earth screenshot they used. It's a pretty close match. Does this mean that the Curator's library is in more than one place at once? Probably not. And the team simply used a beautiful photo of Rome for the skybox, since they knew they wanted the Curator to be based there. Once again, great work by Curator in tracking all of this down and giving us a ton of new things to think about. I've been the Hidden Object Guru, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. If you'd like to see more from me, drop by the stream on YouTube and Twitch. Weekdays at 9 p.m. Eastern, weekends, noon Eastern. Special thanks to my patrons Marissa, Desire, Eduardo, Brian, and Joanne. If there's any topics you want to see covered in future videos, please mention them in the comments section. I'll see you back here for more dark pictures, but until then, au revoir.